So SolidWeb, it's the powerful free website building tool that was developed as a part of the AFL-CIO's Union Hall program. And so Union Hall is the AFL-CIO's website management platform. So for over 13 years, UACIO has provided an easy-to-use website system designed specifically for UAW locals. And like I had mentioned, we continue to make updates and improvements to those systems to meet with the rapid changes in technology and best practices around website design. So as Roy mentioned, in 2024, we decided to upgrade to the latest version of Union Hall called SolidWeb 3.0. It's been live ever since August 5th. And so some of the largest improvements that we've gone over in this is a better performance and security, an improved yet familiar user interface for site admins, a greater flexibility on how your website can look, and then private sites for access to give locals the best option to host member-only content. And of course, we have ongoing training and support through us and the AFL-CIO for handling all software updates. So you won't ever have to worry about the software update of your website. You won't have to worry about hosting it. The only thing we recommend you do is you get a domain name so it's easy to remember. And so this is a little snapshot of what the sample templates kind of look like, but I'll be going over all those individual ones. So what is SolidWeb for? So it's designed for regions and local unions that want to have a consistent website experience for the locals. We have hundreds of local unions, and dozens of unions in general use Union Hall for their website. So it's not just the UAW. SME uses it, of course, AFL-CIO, SEIU, to name a few. And we're working up to, I know we have over 200 websites, but I think we have over 200 locals now that are on the platform. So why should you use SolidWeb? There's lots of options out there. There's Squarespace, there's WordPress, there's, just a number of free kind of options. And so specifically SolidWeb and Union Hall is specifically built to meet your needs, right, of the labor movement. So not only the website's easily customizable based on the needs of the UAW, but they're very easy to manage. So each site created in SolidWeb/Union Hall is responsive, meaning it looks great on mobile devices and desktops and everything in between. New features to the platform are sourced from you guys, right? So they're going to continue to meet the changing needs of your local union. And it's not about the platform. In most cases, there's little to no cost for you guys, right? And we offer free ongoing support. So this is just comes as a part. Every local union has access and is able to apply for this. It comes at no cost to you guys, and we're always here to help you guys. So some of the connected tools that we have that go along with SolidWeb that are great, like sister platforms. So we have Action Network, which is a progressive online organizing platform. So, the idea is that any local union can become an organizer by signing up with the form below. And that's actually down here is where you apply for SolidWeb and Action Network. So if you haven't applied yet, your local, even if you have an existing website, you can apply and just get a website set up, and you can decide whether or not you want it to go live and is available to the public. But so there's really no reason not to. If you haven't explored it, you basically just have to sign up here. And then, so back to Action Network, with everything from, RSVPs to surveys to collect answers for, from like surveys and things of that nature, fundraising form to collect money for campaigns, letter campaigns to send to legislators. There's like tons of different tools that are within this platform as well. And you can use it to send out emails to members about contract and bargaining updates. And we're actually going to go over that. So how these two tools work together. And then so as people take action on all your tools, right? So if it's a form to get bargaining updates, or if it's a form to support an action, or even to RSVP for a union meeting, they get added to your email lists. And, using this tool, we can contact everybody that's on the list. And then, if you want, you can download your data as well. So it has lots of uses. So both of these tools, and in some cases, we offer text messaging. And I'm also going to go over that. And it has to do with bargaining updates. So these are great tools. They're, free for you to access right now. So I would say that if you haven't applied, there's no reason not to. So, okay, so let's go over. So now that you know what SolidWeb is all about and what it's here for, it's free for you guys to use. Let's go over some of the things that you guys are going to use it for practically, and some of the things that I think all local union websites are going to have to address. The resources that they need on their website, the information available to the members, and then the thing that every single local union goes through, right? So you all bargain for your contract. You all have union meetings. You all have events that are going on. In short, you guys need to communicate with your members about the things that are going on in your local union. And it's that we found is one of the most useful ways that we can help you guys is to make sure that you guys have the kind of construct of what it takes to build your website, because all members need to get value when they come to your website. They need to have a meaningful communication with you and to be able to get a hold of you if they need to be able, at the very least, download their contract, know how to get a hold of you, see what's going on in the local. And then if they want to get more information, have the opportunity to opt in to receiving email updates from you, links to your social media, things like that. So connecting all the spheres of communication. And to that end, it's important to say that, the internet, not everybody is on each social media platform, but everybody can access a website. So that's why it's very important to have it as a hub that you guys control, that is where you're able to have communication, with your members to put out, whatever it is, resource wise and statement communication wise with your members. But they all connect together. So let's say you have a Facebook and Instagram, you can link that directly on your Solid website, and you can also link from your social media to your website. So no matter what, it takes people to a place where they can get reliable information from you guys. So why is that important? Why have a website? What's the whole idea behind that is, if you don't communicate with your members, somebody's going to. It's going to be the company. It's going to be other members. It's going to be rumors. A lot of times this comes up when there's issues in the local, whether it's, having to do with things that are happening in the workplace, new contracts that come up. Members in general want to know what is going on in their union. And as union communicators, it's on us to provide that information and to set up that infrastructure for them. Otherwise, in the vacuum of information, they're going to get whoever is the loudest voice. And so it's important that you guys put out information on behalf of your local, so they're getting accurate information, they understand what's going on, and they can reach out to you if they need help, questions, and they have access to the information that is crucial for them to have a working relationship with the union, knowing their rights on the job, knowing what their contract is. And so really we're empowering the membership. So that's why you need to have a website. That's why you need to have, this two-way communication with your members. Otherwise, someone else is going to do it. And chances are it's not going to be someone that's going to help out our members in the best possible way. It's going to be in a way that might not help them. So, okay. So let's see here. So I'm just going to take a look here at the demo site here. So this is basic. We're going to go into more detailed, like what each website looks like, but this is like the demo website, right? So this kind of shows a little bit of how the website's laid out. So I'm logged in right now as the admin. So you can see there's like an admin at the top here. This is called the blueprint. So there's two blueprints that are available right now, but each of them are customizable. So you got your logo at the top, your menu. This is a hero area. This is where you put something important, right? So if you got contract negotiations coming up, you're going to tell people about it here, sign up for updates or something like that. Or maybe you have, a rally or something coming up, right? This is like the most real estate on your website. This is where you put that information. Then you got a feed of blog posts. And this is like your cadence of what's happening right now, what's going on in the workplace, are there shift changes, what are the things that are happening, and what are, maybe even some of the things you guys are doing in the community. And then down here is email sign up. This is where it hooks into Action Network, right? So we're giving people an opportunity to connect further with you guys, further with their local, to get updates where they're at, whether it's they're checking their email or they're on the website. So you're bringing them home. And then these are promo areas where, again, you can just use this. These are kind of like, toolbox type situation where you can put any information that is useful to you. The regions syndicate content down. And that's something that I realized I left out. SolidWeb is a syndicated website system. What does that mean? Syndicated content websites means that you get information, articles, promos like this here, heroes. Content is syndicated down from the international and from your region onto your website. So you get to pick and choose what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep, but it helps keep you guys in the loop with your region and the international, and helps your members also do the same. So below that is we have like an action area. So, if you have any actions going on, pretty much could be anything from, a petition to signing up for, an email list. So it's just kind of like an area for you to link outside to somewhere to sign up. And beneath that, we have our events. So our event tool has stuff that's going on from the international and from your region on here. So you're going to see, like Red Shirt Day here, things like that. Every federal holidays on here and things going on in the union. Beneath that, we have our blog section, and this is an RSS feed, which the type of articles that you're posting up here actually can go into an RSS feed. So this gets picked up by Newswire and stuff like that, local news, stuff like that. But this is a feed of the internationals. And then if you want to have a testimonial section, you certainly can. So let's say you had a particularly strong contract and you want to point out to members that, the kinds of gains that you had, you can point that out here. Or perhaps you have an active contract campaign and you have specific members that are wishing to voice their opinions on what's going on about healthcare or the things that are important that are going on in the contract. So this is a way to post that. You can have your social media feeds directly embedded on your website if you so choose. So it integrates very nicely into that. And then we have our footer, which is a restatement of all the different things, including the contact information, all of the events, and various pages that you have, a search function, all their social medias, and a sign up. Every solid website is syndicated with some basic content. So you start with an About Us page that can have, all of your officers on it. So it's like I said, this is set up for you guys in the same way that, anticipating that you're going to need to add information. So this is where the officers will go. And I'm going to show you different examples where this is all set up. The event tool, like I said, is the calendar, and it shows you all the different events that are happening. In here, you can link directly to an event where people can sign up, or you can have, something that links to whether it's Facebook or, whatever it is, you can link to an end goal. And then the actions you already saw. And then let me see what I have for the bargaining updates here. So this is a section that I think that we've had a lot of locals use, and we're going to look at a bunch of different locals that have already completed and gone through their bargaining updates, because it's a very new kind of thing that we've been helping locals with. And it's been part of that, one of our values of being open with our members about the bargaining updates and using that as a way to gain leverage, a way to communicate with the membership. And in general, it's showing members that we're showing you what's going on. And every solid website can accommodate that. And you can send out bargaining updates, and we're going to go over that as well. So this is just an example of a page that we have, but you can have static informational page. Then there's a member update section here. So this actually is a member only section. So you can see it now, but if I wasn't logged in, this would be all hidden from the public. And you can, like I said, you can have this as any section can become a private page. Newsletters, right? So if you got newsletters, your local has a newsletter that you do every month, weekly, bi-weekly, something like that. You can post it here as well. And then, so that's the basic layout of the site. So let's look at some examples here. So I'm going to take a look here at Local 2300. So Local 2300 came to me and they, let me know that they have workers at Cornell University, and we had already done updates with Cornell University, and they had 2 more units, I believe TCAT, and there was another unit. And what they came to me and they wanted to make sure they were communicating bargaining updates to their members about what was going on. So they utilized the tools that are existing. So this hero image right at the top here, they're calling action to what's going on. We want you to sign up for bargaining updates because we are in the middle of bargaining right now. So when you click on that, it'll take you to their page here that will allow you to sign up for bargaining updates. So they are done with Cornell, and they just are left with TCAT. So we have a TCAT bargaining updates form here, and then it allows them to choose, to opt into mobile messages, which again is something we can set up. And then that connects directly into our mobile messaging tool. So you can text message the folks that you need to, and then you have their employer list here. So you know who you're communicating with, they're telling you, and you can target them based on their workplace, or you can send it to the entire unit, right? So, and then of course, there's actually posting the bargaining updates, right? So let's go to their bargaining updates page. So you can see kind of what they've been doing here. They've been posting bargaining updates for each unit that they've had, right? So they've done Cornell bargaining updates. They have TCAT bargaining updates. I think they're a shining example of what you would want to see, what I would want to see if I was a member and I'm like chomping at the bit to know what the heck's going on in my workplace. I'm seeing that my bargaining team's sitting down at the table negotiating with the company, and then we have detailed updates about what's going on here, So I'm just going to read an example, update and just kind of so we can see that TCAP brought in the shop manager, Joe, from information. They're talking about new training language that they're demanding. They learn about requirements for engine manufacturers. And they just go into basically what's happening at the bargaining table. This is what members want to know. They don't want to be left in the dark in general. And I know there are situations depending on workplaces, and not every campaign is going to be the same. But in general, when you can communicate to your members about what's going on, this is the way you want to do it. It's detailed. What they were able to do is send out a text message, and that landed in their workers' phones, and then they clicked on it, and it went directly to the bargaining update. So they were hand-fed the bargaining updates as they happen. And that was really important, especially for Cornell, for TCAT. It was important for the members to know what was going on. So they were a really good example of, and it's of accomplishing that. So let's take a look at where it landed with Cornell. So for Cornell, I'm going to go back to the bargaining updates. They ended up with a tentative agreement, and I think they ended up ratifying, if I'm not mistaken. They might have. I'm not sure exactly when this came out, but so we can take a look at what they put together for their tentative agreement. They worked with the communications department to get this laid out. And, it's a very clear, concise communication of what the TA was, and this is something that is very, doable. It takes a lot of work to put this together, but, we are also here to help. And in some cases, depending on how intense or how lengthy it is, it's something that we can assist with you, or it's something that you guys can put together yourself, or it's something that we work wholeheartedly together on. So, then they ended up putting the white book out as well, which I think is the full contract language, right? And so they're being completely straightforward. Here's the highlights, and here's everything else that's going on, right? So to me, this is like showing, we want you to see what's going on, So, and this is all using tools that are built into SolidWeb. This isn't anything that we like just manufactured specifically. These are all things that can be set up, specifically to accommodate these things in SolidWeb. Okay, so that's bargaining updates. While we're on the subject of bargaining updates, I want to talk a little bit about why that's important. So I'm going to go over to our contract campaign page. So this is a work in progress because there are many different types of contract campaigns, right? There are ones in which, the management is stalling. There's one in which, they want to try to get you to go to, an impasse. There's ones that, maybe they just want you to, they want to agree with it, or, maybe they don't. It just depends. So in this case, we're going to look at one specifically. Again, this is a work in progress, and we're adding more to this as well to look at a bunch of different scenarios, but this goes about what it's all about. So Walter Reuther once said, power is the ability of a labor union like the UAW to make the most powerful corporation in the world, General Motors, say yes when it wants to say no. To build that kind of power, we have to approach collective bargaining differently. To that end, we need to look further at recent bargaining success, such as the stand-up strike and contract campaign at Daimler Trucks, right? So there are a number of things here to point this for this particular strategy. So it talks about a contract campaign and what that looks like. We got the beginning, middle, end, and working towards specific demands we're trying to win. Contract campaign has a target, someone who could give us what we want. And a contract campaign involves a series of escalating actions over time, which progressively turn up the heat, target, and create conditions for winning our demands. And the bargaining team and the membership are like jumper cables, right? They work only when they're connected. That means having to bring our workplace power into bargaining, right? So basically going over all of this is, I'm going to brief over some of this because I want to plug in where you guys come in as well. But this really talks about why it's important to run a contract campaign where appropriate and the things you can win, right? It talks about raises that were done in Daimler Trucks, which is over 25% for 4 years, 16 in the first year, the end of wage tiers. So there's a lot of good things that can come for your members for running a contract campaign. And the case study is available on uaw.org right now, but I just have it featured on here. So if you guys do want to read that, it's a great read. I definitely recommend it. Again, not every single, there's no two contract campaigns are a carbon copy, but they all have valuable things that you can learn from them. And many times they do apply to multiple different workplaces. So where do we come in? Bargaining updates. We are the vehicle. Okay. So the bargaining team is doing the bargaining. They're getting the members' demands on the table. So we're going to get bargaining updates put out there. So it keeps members up to date about negotiations, builds unity and strength. It also counters the company's message. By having bargaining updates, you build a member buy-in. When members can follow what's happening at the table, they are ready to escalate. Arm them with information. By understanding negotiations, members can share what is happening with their family, friends, and community, right? Pressuring the company. Management can see exactly how serious members are about winning a strong contract. They want to say no. They do not want to give it up. They want you to settle for whatever the heck they want to give you. So where do you guys come in? There's several different stages. So you're climbing the mountain. You're ready to collect collective bargaining surveys and ask the members to sign up for bargaining updates. Now, not every contract campaign, not everybody does bargaining surveys. Oftentimes you do. But if you do, that's an opportunity to get people to say, I want email updates. I want text message updates. When distributing your surveys, whether it's digital, on Action Network, SurveyMonkey is a really good one. We have a tool called JotForm that's really good, Google Forms, or if it's a paper form, you'll want to give your members a chance to properly sign up for email and text message. So we walk you through it. First thing you do is create a form on Action Network that members can fill out to sign up. Once you create this, you put the link directly on your website. Now, anyone that opts into this, we can have it set up so it just automatically gets imported into our texting platform. So they're set up for that. They're also set into Action Network to email them. So it's in two places. There are a number of ways to opt people in. Let's say you're in the middle of negotiations. You have bargaining surveys, you have emails, you have text, you have phone numbers, but we haven't set this integration up. That's okay. You can still upload them manually, right? If you have anyone that opts in. We have tutorials set up for this specifically that runs you through the entire process. So creating the form and then creating an automatic sync where it plugs the two tools together. And this leads us to a form that you guys fill out that basically sends us an email and gets this set up for you guys. So when you're ready to get this going, we are ready to respond and to make sure that you guys have what you need. And then when you do that, there's also the option to download a template for a flyer. So you're sending out bargaining updates or you're sending out a form for bargaining updates or a bargaining survey. You'll get a QR code and a flyer that you can put on your own template once it's delivered to you. Or if you need help creating a more professional, more in-depth one, we can also potentially work with that. Next step, after you do that, you create a place for all of this to live, right? So you have the sign up. Now we want to let people know we have a section for our bargaining updates where they're going to live. Right. So you're also going to have the sign up here, but this is also going to be a place where you're going to be posting all of the updates that happen. You're readying them for this, and it's getting that set up ahead of time. So they're going to anticipate, they're knowing it's coming, right? So you set up a bargaining update section on your website, create a home base for ongoing talks with the company and an atmosphere of transparency, trust with the membership, and put the pressure on the company to lay out the facts, right? So we have an entire tutorial about how to set that up. We'll walk you through it. And then we talk about, okay, you got it all in here. You got, your email list, you got your text message list. You're starting to get the updates from the bargainers, the bargaining committee. Now it's time to communicate with the membership. So you distribute your bargaining updates via email, text message, social media, on your website. You get it out there, right? So we have tutorials on going over all of that as well. We walk you through the entire process. And then if you still have questions about it, we'll have a way for you to just reach out to us, and we'll lend a helping hand to help guide you in the right direction. So yeah, this is, a very important thing that every one of you guys are going to face at some point. So that's bargaining updates. I know we don't have a lot of time left here. I think we're about halfway through it. So I'm going to move on to some of the other parts and just some of the basics here so that's bargaining updates. What are some of the other basic things that we want to make sure we have on our website? So contracts, right? It seems like a, remiss thing, but you got to have your contracts on here, right? And so SolidWeb's great for accommodating what this is called like a document library. searchable. If you got a bunch of units, that's fine. People can search for whatever they need here. You can sort it by alphabetical date, whatever. And all they got to do is click on it to download it, and they're good to go. And under the About Us section, so I was going to show you this. So we have, who they are, how to contact them, right? So they prefer phone number, so a call in if you want to directly reach out to them. And then we have each of the, members of the officers listed here, right? And you can have contact information such as phone number, bios, stuff like that. But crucial to have that information. Again, in the footer, we got our phone number, we got our address, so they know where you're located. And I don't know if they have a lot in terms of events. They might have meetings and stuff like that. Yeah, monthly membership meeting. So they have you can schedule it. It's really cool. You can set it up to where, let's say you have a membership meeting on the third Thursday of every month, or maybe it's bi-monthly, or maybe it's, but we want to exclude Christmas and all these different dates. This tool is just set up to do that. You can include links here. They don't particularly have a sign-up form, but you can have a sign-up form so you can RSVP people in using Action Network. So you guys can get people in here and signed up and affirmatively say, hey, I'm going to be there. But okay, let's look at some other things here. So, and just to show you, because they've been posting a lot, you can see where all of this flows into the website. So all of their bargaining updates are into their blog. So their blog here is mostly bargaining updates, but the blog is a feed of anything that they post, like whether it's, we have photos from an event, or, things specifically happening, shift changes, stuff like that. It all goes into a conglomerate feed. This is another one. So they have their an Action Network form directly embedded on their site here. So it's easy for people to sign up for their email list. Again, in the same manner. And here's a good kind of example of some things syndicated down from the region. There was conferences. Looks like this was a Hispanic parade that was going on in the region. And then, of course, their events. So, okay, very good. So let's go ahead and move on to another thing. So a lot of you folks have locals with a lot of units, right? So units are a tough thing. If you have a ton of units, how do you handle that? I like how Local 412 has handled it, because they have a lot of units. And so what they have chosen to do is put the contact information for each of their units on here using the biography tool. And so they have contact information for all the different chairpersons, council for each unit on here. So it's really easy to kind of put information on here, contact info, things like that, and organize it by unit, right? So these tools are set up so no matter how complex your local is, or how, if it's just one or, 20 units, you're able to put all that information on there. So it's a good way. So you got to have, they even have their phone number on here, right? In some cases. So unit information, very important. If you guys are amalgamated, you want to have the contact informations for each of your units on here. So that is very important. Yeah, I mean, they've really taken advantage of a lot of the things in SolidWeb. They have everything from unemployment information, strike schedule. So they have links to a bunch of different information. Strike FAQ, all the different stuff. So let's look at another page here. But I thought this was just a really good way to handle the units. And as you can see, this layout looks different, right? It's all white. There's different templates you can choose. You can customize all of the colors if you want. Just to show you kind of an extreme example of that, let's take a look at Las Vegas's. Looks completely different, but right? So this has all been the flavor of Las Vegas, right? So they have, here they're updating their members about tips that have been increased at a Wynn Casino, sign up for their updates form. And then they have events and things like that. They also have a link to national organizing, they have people that are in casinos, right? They want to organize, so they're working with a gaming department to organize folks. You guys can do as much that you can. And I think it's important to organize. If you guys have the opportunity, if you have, independent part suppliers, or if you have other, this is an organizing tool as well, so just know that. But yeah. So getting back to everything, the kind of core of it here, right? So we're going to make sure that we have the information that is important to our members on the website. How to get a hold of us. What are our contract informations? If we're amalgamated, all the unit contract and unit contact information. When you enter bargaining, you're communicating with your members. You're posting the current contract. You're also giving them a pathway to do more giving them a pathway to get more communication via bargaining updates. You're actually posting bargaining updates about what's going on at the bargaining table. Every step of the process union meetings through the event tool, bargaining updates and bargaining sign up, informational pages, contract information, how to get a hold of folks. These are all the things that you guys need to be doing when it comes to setting up a website. And this tool is set up to do that. Our suite of tools that we have will give you everything that you guys need to make sure that you are doing that for your members. And when you need help, we're here. We are the communications department. We have a lot of talented people that are willing to help out. There's a reason that we're doing this, We're all here for you guys. We're here for our members. Last thing, I got 1 minute left before we open it up for questions. So I'm going to go over just some of the cool things that you can do with the website. Region 9 has been absolutely bananas with customizing their website. It looks almost nothing like it originally did from basically here on down. So Region 9 has chosen, it's 9A. I'm sorry. It's 9A. Region 9's looks great too. But 9A, they have really customized their website. Everything from the colors of what they hover over. They're doing organizing work. Their events are displayed differently. You can change how this website looks very granularly. So however you want it to look for the most part, you can get it to look that way. You can accomplish that. It's very customizable. And so let's take a look at they got their committees. So yeah, let's take a look at their committees. Here's all of their different committees that they have. They have, each of these committees and information describing that. Here's their Veterans Council, all the things going on in veterans. They have a section for many of their committees that they have here. Where's the Organize Your Workplace? I think they're actively updating their website. I know that they constantly add stuff. Let's take a look at their organizing section here. Yeah, organize your workplace, get in touch with us to do that. Get support for organizing, So super customizable, really cool with what you could do with this. The sky's the limit. We can absolutely walk you through exactly how they accomplish this, So if you want to do something customized, if you want your homepage to look similar to you.org, we can actually get there to a point where the layout is very similar, So if you see another website, like, hey, I like how this is, we can actually help you get there. And it's through the layout builder tool that is built into this. Okay, so I've taken up everybody's time here. I thought I'd get to cover more, but this is just a sample of what's coming up in Luca. I'm excited. This tool is absolutely amazing. So can't wait to show more to you guys. Any questions? I'd be more than happy to answer. Let me, hang on. How do I get to the hands? I see Yolanda.
Yolanda, just go ahead.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead, Ro?
Yep.
So I know you helped me set up ours with the member only portion of it. Is it still where I have to log everybody in, set up their username and they will set up their own password once they get the email? Or is there something new now where they can do it themselves?
Right. So there is not a sign up form specifically for that. So what I like to tell folks is if Lewis is up to date with your members, or if you're using Rogers or whatever you're using that has the most up to date information, and that's first name, last name, email address, that's what you want to use. And you export that and you import that into SolidWeb. And there's a way to do that specifically where you go to add members and then you can just bulk import members. So the same place where you add admins is where you add all of your members and you upload them in a template file. It's like a sample CSV. Their first and their last name is combined in one field, and then the email address. So you might have to do a little work in Excel to combine those things to make sure that it updates. But Lewis, Roberts, whatever you guys use, as long as that information is up to date, you can do that. Also, if you're on Action Network and you have emails there and you have members that are confirmed there, you can also use that. You can export from Action Network and do the same thing, right? Combine the first and last name and then do the email separately. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I also had another one. You mentioned that in one of these sites, they had it where you can actually sign your membership card on there to join. So do we have virtual cards now? Because I know we never used to have that before.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So we are working on a tool that is I don't know if we're going to be able to roll it to every local, but I know through Action Network you are absolutely able to have an organized card. So I'll actually show you guys Las Vegas's. Let me bring up Las Vegas again. Where'd you go, Vegas? I might have been at Region 9. Anyway, Region 6. So this is Region 6, or this is Local 3555's which is Vegas. So yeah, and there's some legal requirements that you need. And man, I would love to do just a class on this. And I'm sure that's on the docket at some point here. But yeah, I mean, an authorization card is definitely something we can do. In the future, we will be, I'm gonna see if we can get to a point where we can syndicate a template authorization card that legal approves as like, hey, as long as they fill in X, Y, and Z, that the NLRB will allow it. That would be amazing. I'd love to get that to that place. But yeah, if you want to, you can shoot us an email. And so how you contact about with SolidWeb related questions is you go over here to questions, and this goes to a shared mailbox with me and other folks in the comms department. And you can ask questions there as well. You can also email me, but this is a good way because it organizes into one mailbox instead of looking at my mailbox, which has a lot of stuff in it. So this kind of helps me sort it so I can make sure that I address everybody as it comes in as quickly as I can. But yeah, I mean, it's totally doable with this tool. So you can absolutely get this where it's compliant with the law. And then once you get to, a percentage here where you're ready to file, this does not work for card check. This only works for an election. So digital cards work for an election, not for a card check. But yeah, you can do that. Shoot us a form on the question if you want to work together on setting this up, and I'd be more than happy to. We've done this dozens and dozens and dozens of times. In fact, we are one of the first unions, if not the first, to actually pioneer this method. So we will get you guys set up. Just submit a question on uaw.org/solidweb, and then submit a question. Say, hey, I'm interested in setting up an organizing card for whatever workplace, and we can go from there.
Hey, Chris, we have a
Perfect. Thank
question.
you.
We have a question in the chat from
We
Brian.
do.
If you want to take a look at it, or you want
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we do. So let's see here. Roger Marion. Okay, ready to learn. It would be great if there was an API. Oh, so this is a direct message. Brian from 1976. It would be great if there was an API to get Lewis to talk to SolidWeb. You're telling me. That's a great idea. Oh my God, I love that. Oh, that would be amazing. I'm writing that down. We've talked about integrations at one point. I hope so. Ben Packer, our data guy, he would be the man to answer this question. So let me ask Ben if this is possible. That would be so cool. Okay, next question. Let me hop in the chat. Okay, I'm wondering if there's an opportunity for setting up pages for constituency groups. Ooh, yeah. So president of Ohio Pride. Oh, that's such cool. So man, yeah. So if you want to set up a constituency page, right, for initiatives like this that you're working with the local or whatever it is, shoot us a question, pop it in here and say, hey, I want to set up. So if you guys are already approved on SolidWeb and you want another instance of SolidWeb set up to customize for a campaign or something, yeah, shoot me a message on here and just kind of put as much information in here as you possibly can to get this jump started. We'll get you a site specifically for whatever it is. We just want to make sure we understand what it's all about, and then we'd be happy to set that up. Yeah, and so this is again setting up pages for constituent groups, President of Ohio Pride at Work here. It works together, right? You can have another website, another solid website for whatever your cause is, and then you can also have another Action Network group that's associated with it. That's a child group from your local if it's associated with your local. But yeah, I'm sure we can make that set up. Do we have a date for the next Luca conference? That was answered. Yep, June 22nd to 27th.
Yes, let me ask you a question real quick. And again, when you create a SolidWeb website, how does it automatically make it mobile friendly, or do you have to set it up separately? Just a question.
No, it's automatic. So I'm going to go into, I guess, Las Vegas is the one. So just using my inspector tool here. So this is what it looks like on an iPhone SE. And so you got the hamburger menu there. Everything's mobile friendly, automatically kind of conforms to that. But let's show you what it looks like in real time. So if we are in a responsive template, means that it just changes based on the browser size. So as you can see, we're getting smaller, the text is shrinking, and then we switch to the mobile layout, and it just whatever you're on, it molds to that. So yeah.
Okay. And we also have another question. How do we set up a session for assistance with our page?
So every solid website and so if you have a site now, it's always right here, local union digital training, and you can sign up right here. And you see right now we have basic training for SolidWeb and Action Network training. Most of these have been one-on-one, so but not all of them. So I can't guarantee that you'll be the only one on here, but choose one of these and we'll try to address whatever needs you have. I mean, if you want a basic training, we can do that. If you want something more specific, you can ask questions. So you can just book a time and on here for training. If you want, like I said, I can't guarantee that you'll be the only one in there, but that's been the case now for the past few months. Something tells me that might not be the case now because I think we might have a little bit more interest. What you also can do is you can submit a question and say, hey, I want a more advanced training. And then I'll respond to that. And there's a booking link in my email that you can use to book an advanced training. And that'll be based on my availability, but it's more flexible. So yes, in short, sign up here where it says UAW solid or uaw.org/solidweb. Click on training. You can sign up for training right here. Or if you want guaranteed one-on-one, you can go to the questions form, submit a question, and just say, hey, I want a one-on-one training specifically with something advanced. Definitely, if it's more basic, I would say, just you want to learn the basics of the tool, these are the way to go. More advanced or specific stuff, submit a question and I'll follow up with you there and we can book a time. Okay, let's see. Karina, you might be concerned about directly linking Lewis with SOLIDWeb. Lewis keeps, so yeah, I'm with you on that. So basically it would have to only be certain information, right? So if SolidWeb talks, it only is getting email, first name and last name, right? So, and that's something that I know our data guy would be able to, if he worked with our folks that do Lewis, that's something to do that. So what's the best way to get basic training to get our page up and running? This is it right here. So uaw.org/digital training, select a basic training here. And then they're offered 2 times a week and just sign up for one of the slots here. You can sign up by, I think, 2 months in advance. Yeah, 2 to 3 months in advance, something like that. If you want, it's based on staff availability. So if we're on vacation, if we're out, usually as long as we have our calendars updated, it updates that. But that's where you go. Let's see, constituency groups are independent of the local. UAW recognizes. Okay, yeah. So I would say. Yeah, so it would be independent. So for instance, it wouldn't be attached to a region. It wouldn't be attached to a local. It'd be something like prideatwork.uaw.org or something like that, or a domain that you set up that's custom. But yeah, you can use this as a platform as long as it's, I would say shoot us a question regarding that and we'll be able to address that. Okay, next question. Are there any evening classes? So at this time, there are not. We're doing in-person classes. We're doing during the week, twice a week. If you can never get availability, like if it's never going to happen, I mean, shoot me an email and then we might be able to figure something out. But typically it's during the week, twice a week for SolidWeb and for Action Network. That's what we're offering at this time. Let's see here. Can Elon and his tech boys take us over? Not a chance. We are not the government. No, we are a organizations that is beholden to our members. We don't have to let Elon access crap. Okay, Luca Conference is planning to also have a SolidWeb Basics elective. To my knowledge, what we're doing, and Roy, correct me if I'm wrong, Chrissy, but I know that we're focusing on, the class that we're focusing on is talking about running an effective website, and the basics we're offering via online training. So I think that is the idea that we're going with. I think we've moved our basic training to webinar or online training for a number of reasons. One of them is that internet is not Black Lake's strong point, but I'm not sure. I think you have to do that online. So again, Roy, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it
sounds about right.
Okay, yeah. So sign up online here if you want to get basic training, and I'd be more than happy to accommodate. Okay.
Thank you, Chris, for the fantastic webinar. Again, very informative. We appreciate you and everybody taking time out. Just a couple closing statements. Of course, the next couple webinars we have going on. In March, we have Pat Hayes, which has been a long time instructor at the Luca conference, back when it was Lupa. He'll be going over interviewing skills, which is really important for not only print, but now with podcasting and everything else, and writing, feature writing, how to properly interview an individual for a story and or podcast. In April, we have John Davis teaching understanding exposure. John is always fantastic when he presents, and it's already been put in the chat, but just FYI, save the date. We, bring your friends, bring your neighbors. Well, not your neighbors, but your friends from work and whatever. The Luca conference is going to be June 22nd through the 27th. Great time during the summer to be there up at Black Lake. We have a lot in store for you. A lot of great classes, a lot of electives, and just a lot of activities. I'm proud to be working with the advisory council, who's hopefully spearheading and going to make a great conference. And, the only thing missing is all of you. So definitely talk to your leadership, let them know that, we need to be put on the schedule. But yeah, the Luca conference will be June 22nd through the 27th. I look forward to seeing you.